This podcast is not affiliated with any Grand Lodge, and the particulars, antics, and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own. Should be dismissed immediately.
Welcome to your least favorite podcast. We had a little change of plans tonight. We were supposed to interview somebody else, and we got some weather.
Yep.
Nebraska, a little bit of ice, December ice. So some of us made it. Heath and I didn't drive very far.
Nope.
Joined by Dave, and also a new friend of ours, and a new friend of the show, Brother Jim Gill, who's a fairly recent Master Mason, right?
August, so it's
Pretty recent.
4 months,
Yeah.
5 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
You've been doing this a while.
I got all the answers already.
And he's
Not even
also
close.
in Heath and I's Scottish Rite class.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they were in there, and Joe happens to call him El Presidente because he's class president.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. I think Mr. Maxwell had something to do with that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going guestless. And actually, so this is our, number-wise, this is our 1 year episode.
Okay.
Very nice.
Time travels fast.
And we still have like 7 listeners, so we're good. All right, that's it. Show's over.
Yep. Wrap it up. Go home.
Stay here.
We are home.
We are home. All right, then we can stay all night. All right, quick shout out to our sponsors. We have Homeward Handyman Services, Corporal Dagan Page Foundation, MasonGearShop.com. Brother Joe out of San Diego has great products, including our products. We've added hats to the mix. They're stamped leather patch hats.
They're really cool.
They're available in trucker hats, snapbacks, flex fit. I think he's got 4 or 5 different styles. Flat bill, curved bill, all that jazz. Let's see, bricksmasons.com. They're not necessarily an official sponsor, but they gave us money, so we give them a shout out and a commercial.
Yeah.
And then, as always, our Patreon supporters, they keep us going.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. We could probably muddle through it without you, but it sure makes paying for a lot of the stuff a lot easier. It's like crowdfunding at its finest.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll need a new computer in another couple of years, probably.
Probably not, but
We'll upgrade. Like, upgrade the memory and stuff.
yeah.
Get some more RAM, make it faster. Alright. What have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
Well, we had a Master Mason degree last night.
Yeah. I totally thought you were going to bring up selling your house.
Well, that too. but it hasn't sold yet. It's just under contract. I'm not jinxing it.
But that is a good sign, though, that the Master Mason was more important than selling your house.
Yeah. Let's see. Pay dues, get a big payoff from selling your house. Yeah, and he had drill. And the weather was really nice last weekend, right? So I put a call out, and there was a couple brothers came over, and we pretty much moved all of the big stuff. All that's left is some tubs.
While I was working.
Yeah, while you were working. Made him mad.
It's great to have brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they saved the hell out of my back. And probably a marriage. 'Cause a lot of that stuff going down the stairs.
Yeah.
And
That's tough.
I'm glad we had Chop with our
Chop.
workhorse. We had Gabe too. Dave, what have you been up to?
Oh, let's see, the last couple of weeks. Tangiers Festival Trees, that took a full week there. Good crowd. So that was nice and fun. Got a chance. I worked the front door, so I got a chance to talk with lots of people and fill them in on exactly what we did, because there was a few people that had no idea what we did there. So, and then now the Christmas season has started. So, being a trustee, I think I've done 4 Christmas parties so far, and more to go. So,
Brother Jim, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been all over. I actually went to the Festival of Trees. That was the first time I'd ever been there.
Okay.
I was one of them that didn't know what was going on, and I was really impressed. thought it was well done. I think that's a great event, a great fundraiser. I've been doing as much Masonically as I can. I've been visiting lodges. I visited Bellevue. I visited Beehive. This week I attended 2 different Master Masons. I didn't make the one last night because I was at one at Capitol, and then on Tuesday I was one at Mercer.
Oh,
So,
those guys do a great job.
Oh yeah, well, both of them were really good. Just the one thing that I find amazing about everyone that I go to, the different locations are just a little bit different flavor in it, and so, yeah, I thought they were both great, and that's one of the things that I've really been excited to do is visit different lodges and to see as many degrees as I can. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of weeks.
Nice. Yeah, Beehive has its own flavor too.
Yeah.
If you could call it that, it's more of a stank. we put our own little it's
Our own little fun voice.
a little voice inflection.
Yeah.
Well, and the different flavors, you have some that are incredibly serious. They take everything serious. Beehive seemed a lot more relaxed. It had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun there. So yeah, it was a different flavor, and I thought it was great. Great
we were
group of guys.
talking when we practiced Wednesday night over at the shrine. We were just running through lines like, man, you know how fun it would be to do this like with slang or Ebonics, without mocking the
Right.
ritual, but just have fun with it. That would be a blast. I don't know what kind of degree you would call that, but not without offending half of America.
Right.
What have I been up to? Moving your crap.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun though. Needed to be done. Now you're living with mom and dad again.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice. You regret it yet?
No. Snacks are easier to get.
Oh, Jesus.
Fridge is always full.
Since I'm not eating them anymore. Yeah, the fridge is always full. You're welcome.
No more ramen.
What are you talking about? He was over here every night for
I know. If he wasn't over here, he was cooking for you guys. So.
Or he was ordering out.
Oh, okay.
He'd order food for himself. Say, what'd you guys do for dinner?
Nice.
Yeah. Now if I get hungry at midnight, I just walk out of the kitchen because you guys have food instead of ordering.
If you wake my dog up and she barks at midnight, we're going to have a problem. I am not yet used to you living in the room next to me. If you see a bright light and a green laser, just duck. All right. So this being our year special, and although Jim is a guest, we're gonna cover a lot of your journey, but we're also going to cover the rest of ours. I know in our very early episodes we kind of talked about how we got in and what we did and all that stuff, but at least for Heath and I, some of that has changed since we started.
Yeah.
Some of our Masonic journey. So we'll just go. Whoever wants to start. What brought us to Masonry?
I'll go. I'll start off. So, my sister was dating Byron at the time, and the two of them were running all over the place, doing everything. And when this is, I asked him, so what the heck is this shrine thing? He goes, about freaking time you asked me, because that was that time where you can't really invite anybody. And so that's where that started, which, my grandfather was a Mason, so I knew, I grew up in the lodge there in South Omaha, but after I got in it and understood it more and enjoyed the journey so far, that it's I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, and I'm glad I did. So
Yeah.
and then joining the shrine and having fun there, and I've been a 32nd degree Mason for 25 years, and now just getting involved back again with the Scottish Rite. So slowly but surely, getting myself busy with all the appendant bodies
You're
again.
definitely busy.
It's not a slowly but surely.
We thought Chop couldn't say no.
Right. Yeah. So, and it doesn't help that you're a trustee with Tangier, so that's all kinds of added responsibilities there. So,
Yeah, and Secretary of the Lodge.
you're right. So,
Get it out. That's right.
Wow.
I'd say we'll edit that out, but we won't.
No.
You want to go next?
Well, let me see if I can talk. Well, why don't you go ahead?
Honestly, what brought me in was Dave, which is funny. So he's Scoutmaster, and we'd hung around for a few years and done all the Boy Scout stuff, And I was like, "Where do you go all the time?" So we got to talking about it, and then I joined with the purpose of being a Shriner. That was my end game, and now things have kind of switched roles. I knew that my dad was a Shriner. Knowing that growing up, I never put together that he was a Mason, right? Because how many people don't know that Shriners are Masons? And so I didn't growing up. I never knew my dad as a Shriner. He had been a Mason for a long time. It was before I was around. And so we got to talking about some of the history when I got in. So my dad was raised in Germany when he was in the Air Force during Vietnam. And then come to find out that his dad was raised in Lodge Number 1 in Omaha.
Oh, wow.
And they're both Scottish Rite Masons. Dad joined the Scottish Rite in Germany, and Grandpa joined the Scottish Rite Omaha Valley. There's pictures on the wall. I think class of 1963, something like that, sometime in the mid 60s. And we were going through some stuff out in the garage, making room for all of his furniture, and I found both of their leather-bound Masonic Bibles, which used to be given out at raising, right?
Right.
Yeah. We get a pretty cool challenge coin, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you breathe now?
I think I can.
Anyways, that's what got me in, was Dave, just to catch you up.
So I'm, I guess, odd man out because I knew what the Shriners were. I didn't know that they were involved with Masonry, but I didn't really see myself ever being one of those guys wearing a funny hat and doing the parades and all of that stuff. The way I got involved is I'm a recent empty nester. So both of our kids went off to college. I got a lot of free time on my hand. And over the years, I've realized that I haven't been giving back to the community the way that I wanted to. So I had kept my eyes open for some sort of a service organization and some place that I could hang out and do charity work, but get to hang out with guys. And it just so happened that worshipful brother Sean Reed is a good friend of mine. We've worked together for years. He would constantly post about Masonry and how great it was to be a Mason. And eventually I took the opportunity and asked him, hey, what's this all about? And magic words. And so instantly he got me a petition, and I was all in, and I don't regret any bit of that.
No, and you've definitely jumped in with both feet. I wish I was more like you in that aspect, more outgoing like that, because I'm very reserved and shy. Like, I even had anxiety last night opening Lodge. It was the second time this year we've opened in Master.
Right.
And the first time was proficiency.
Yeah.
And then so here I have, I guess, just a bunch of past masters. They weren't, I don't think Eric was in Grand Lodge, so he was there.
Yeah.
So that was pretty embarrassing to completely, before we opened, I was like, oh, the lines will come to me. I never really thought about it, but I was like, oh, that's fine, I've done it before. They didn't come at all. It was like swimming in the mud at nighttime.
I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily an outgoing guy to that extent, but I was in a fraternity in college, and I kind of missed that. But at the time, I was so busy worrying about studies. Now I can actually take the time, and so I decided that if I'm going to commit to it, I'm going to commit to it wholehearted. So, I've taken every opportunity I can. I think it's an adjustment between me and my wife. I think I'm taking a lot of time that, she's used to me sitting at home on a couch, and now all of a sudden I'm gone a couple days a week. So, it's been an adjustment, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, that's something my wife is really supportive of, and she understands this coming up year that as being master, I'm going to be gone a little bit more. Not a crazy amount, I don't think.
No.
Oh, shit, we forgot about you. Hey, you're a Mason. How'd you get here?
I figured you guys were still talking about getting in.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Just, rabbit trail,
Okay. Well,
whatever.
brought me to Masonry was really just you.
Oh, really?
Shocker.
And that you and all your friends were Masons, and I was like, oh, well, let's give it a shot.
So out of curiosity, I'll take you down a rabbit trail.
Yeah, because it can't be that easy.
If I was looking at my father and he was involved in something, I probably wouldn't do it just because that's something Dad's doing. Was there a point where you were, I'm never doing that, or was it always, I want to do what Dad's doing?
And for the most part, it's pretty much doing what Dad's doing.
Gotcha.
Really?
Well, I'm a mechanic, even though you always told me not to.
I did.
My whole life.
I was like, dude, do you want hands like this?
Like, do you want to hurt when you get out of bed at 30? Do you want arthritis? Well, I'm a mechanic.
Yeah,
So that worked well.
didn't work at all.
Their interests are very similar. I mean, they're. I don't know if is there any interest that either one of you have got that the other one doesn't have?
Not
I'm
really.
I'm sure there is, but
He doesn't like beer. at
Okay.
all. Like, well, there was one beer you had that you said, I could probably stomach that.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's a rum and
I'm a liquor.
Right.
rum and flavored whiskey and vodka, that kind of thing.
That's probably the only thing.
It might be. Yeah, we have pretty similar taste in music.
Both big car guys.
Both car guys, yeah. We're
Both pew pew guys.
we like guns. We like, I don't know, yeah. He's my best friend. We just, I kind of attribute a lot of that to Boy Scouts. Because I had not only to watch him grow up, but we grew up together. Like, not to say like we were holding hands, but like we did it together every step of the way. I mean, I can probably count on one hand the amount of campouts I did not go on.
Right. Yeah. That was one thing we encouraged all of our adults to attend the campouts with the boys because they grow up so fast, as you know, and to miss out on some of that fun and some of that learning they get to do, and you get to be there and to see it and not hear it secondhand at a next scout meeting or whatever. So.
And obviously the bonding part of it.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So what do we have on average? About 45 boys, 35 to 45.
Right.
And Byron and I, we would do all the cooking. Well, you were when you weren't busy scoutmastering.
Right.
But Byron and I would cook for the adults.
Or sleeping in your chair.
Or fall asleep anywhere.
Scoutmaster's it's a taxing job.
But yeah, we would pretty consistently cook for 19 adults.
Yeah.
19, 20 people.
Yeah.
On a pretty regular basis.
Yep.
Which we have. If anybody wants to learn outdoor cooking, get a hold of Byron Simmons. That man can make stuff. He can make desserts in a Dutch oven that'll blow your mind.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's won competitions with Dutch oven desserts.
Yeah.
He can cook anything.
He can. He's pretty good at it. So.
I remember there was one time we camped. Sorry, long rabbit hole. We were camping in wintertime at Branched Oak, and it was just colder than witch's tit. Man, it was cold. And he did a roast in a Dutch oven all day. And every time the wind picked up, you'd smell that. Oh my God. You just walk around with a bunch of 15-year-old kids salivating everywhere. And you guys made sausage soup. I think it was supposed to be sausage gravy, but it didn't thicken up.
Oh, I remember that. Because I think I was trying to make that.
Let's see. I forgot where we were.
We were still on the first question.
Oh, shit. We went too far down the hole. Did everybody go?
Yep. Yep.
All right. Hey, look at that. We're professionals. We should do this. We should have a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How long have we been Masons?
26 years.
So Fred Flintstone was your master?
Well, yeah, because Jesus was my scoutmaster when I was a kid. So
That's fair. And Byron did the cooking for him.
he did.
And so we already covered yours.
Yep.
You've been a master since August.
Yep, and I started as an EA in April, so it was a pretty quick turnaround. So
Obviously long form, right?
that's
That's
correct.
the only way we can do it in Nebraska right now.
Yep.
I've been a Mason 9 years. So I've been a master. How is it in Grandview? Is it master?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been a master for 9 years. A little over 9, probably close to 10 since I was initiated.
See, I was raised on Veterans Day of 21? No. 20?
If you had a Grandview
21.
account, you could look it up.
21. Veterans Day of 21, so it's a little over 3 years.
I feel like you've been asked that before and still don't know.
I've been bugging him. It's like, dude, you're getting ready to be senior warden. You need to log into Grandview.
He's gonna have to do it here shortly so he can register for Grand Lodge.
Yeah.
Yep. Do we need to register ourselves?
Yes.
Oh, bugger.
Once they get the system working again.
Yeah, I was wondering. I tried today. So I'll be there.
Well, apparently, so we found out last night from a little birdie that they weren't charging enough. So now they got to stop everything and make sure they charge us enough money, and then we can do it again.
Yeah. So all those who pre-registered get a little freebie. They don't have to pay the full price on the meals and
Maybe I
everything.
shouldn't have waited.
Well, I tried it. It wasn't even open yet. Grandview hadn't kicked it in yet, even then. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do the banquet.
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because that would be what? Second or third time I put on a suit and tie that day?
yeah,
That's one
that's about
thing
3 times too many for you.
That's one thing I found out, and since April, I put that suit on more times than I did the previous 48 years.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah, and to be honest, the line to get a drink is way too long. So whoever's in charge of the bar at Grand Lodge, we can need more bartenders.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of suits and putting them on,
Yes. True.
I buttoned the button on my pants last night
Wow!
and my suit jacket.
Congratulations.
So I think going from I don't know how our scale relates to the doctor's scale, but in the last month and a half, I've pretty much started eating salads for lunch. I don't eat breakfast anymore. I was having like 2 granola bars and a bag of chips.
What is a salad?
Right. And I'm actually, I do throw a little bit of real bacon bits in there or some grilled chicken just for some protein. And then I have regular dinner, but I have portion control. I even have a snack at bedtime. But instead of having a row of Oreos, I'll have like 3 or 4. And I've lost at least 16 pounds for sure.
Good job.
Yeah, because the last time I went to put my suit on, I did not button. I had the little button extender thing I bought on Amazon, which is great. You can get the button that way, but you can't zip it up all the way.
Right.
I've always had to use the one for the neck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had a thick neck probably since about the time I got out of the Marine Corps. I quit being slim and trim and fighting weight, and I just started bulking up.
Right.
Because I was still eating like I was burning 2,000 calories a day or whatever it was. But by golly, if you needed somebody to do 60 pull-ups overhand, I could do it. I don't even know if I could do 2 now. I tried to do a push-up, an incline push-up today, and I thought I was going to
Tear something up.
Oh, yeah.
Bored?
I just saw something that was the right height, and I said, no, let's try this. And then I started to push, and it was like, oh, no. Ow. Mommy sauce. It'll stink. People will be saying it tomorrow.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they will.
I think that should probably be.
That should be our logo, our slogan up there.
We have a
Mommy
slogan
sauce.
up there. Yeah.
That could be taken a bunch of different ways. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it could.
Moving on.
In Masonic news. How we doing on time? We should probably take a break before we jump in another question, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's take a break.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. We'll hear from somebody. I'm sure it'll be a show sponsor.
I hope so.
Well, you're the producer, so
It's all up to you.
At Homeward Handyman Services, we pride ourselves on being honest and giving every job the attention it deserves. Owned and operated by a master mason with 2 decades of expertise in home repair. We are bonded and insured, and we carry the highest standards when it comes to taking care of your home. Whether you need a faucet changed or a light remodel, we can take care of your home improvement needs. Call Michael at 402-915-0824 today for a free estimate.
and we're back. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, is that what the clap means? You got to clap. That's not what I meant.
You know, I for Christmas I should get him a clapper, and they'll screw the
Put a clapper down here and look into the camera.
Right.
Does he even know what a clapper is?
Clap on.
Clap on. Clap on, clap off.
No clue?
I didn't think so. I didn't think so.
It was like the geriatric light switch.
Yes.
Right? It was for old people. They get to bed and they're like, oh damn, I forgot to turn the light off.
It was just a switch that was sound enabled, and that's how they sold it. It was
Okay. Yeah, I know what that is.
But I think they ran into problems when people would watch the Tonight Show with Johnny
start
Carson.
clapping.
Lights are flashing everywhere. People are having seizures. I have no idea. All right, so let's jump on to what appended bodies are we in?
Scottish Rite and Shrine for me.
Okay.
I've been in the Scottish Rite for a month now.
Me too.
Yeah, what a coincidence. Wow.
And we're also in the shrine. Mm-hmm. Tangier Shrine in Omaha. Shout out to our brothers.
The old cruising cushions.
The cruising cushions, yeah, we have some fun with that.
That represent.
Looks a lot like a lot of fun.
We repping, yo. See how trendy we are? I'd say you'll get used to it by the end of the show, but you probably won't. It's all right.
So I'll get you guys involved in the hillbillies next.
I'm pretty good at rednecking some stuff together. Have welder, we'll travel.
Right.
Wait a minute, that's duct tape. Duct tape and baling wire to be a hillbilly, right?
WD-40.
All right. And vice grips. Got to have vice grips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that covered that question. That was exciting. All right, Dave, let's go with this one. What's one thing you wish the outside world knew about us or the fraternity or anything Masonic?
I wish they knew, and it's our fault, but I wish they knew what we do for the communities, what we do for our brothers in enriching ourselves. We've not done a good job of letting the general public know that that's what we're there for, to build ourselves as a better man, and then on top of that help the community. And we don't do a good job of letting everybody know. And it's not that we want to pat ourselves on the back. We just haven't promoted ourselves, saying, we've been at this food pantry, or we've been helping out at any other event that we're not good at that. So
yeah. And I think a lot of that too is we're not chasing the praise.
Right.
Too. Remind me when it's my turn. I got a story about that.
Okay.
Another rabbit hole.
I really wish that people understood or knew why we have secrets, because the perception is that we've got some deep, dark secrets that we go into conspiracy theories because we don't tell people what we do, what behind the scenes is. If people understood those secrets and knew that we had those secrets and why we have those secrets, it's really interesting that as a group, when you have secrets, whatever it is, it brings you closer together, and it builds a trust. Just the other night, I had somebody tell me at one of the meetings something and said, "I just don't tell anybody that." I'm not going to tell anybody that because it's a secret. We hold those incredibly important, but the public perception is that we're doing that because we've got some sinister motives, and it couldn't be further from the truth.
Right.
Yeah, here's the reason.
And I wish people knew why we have the secrets. Not that they know what the secrets are, and then really they'd be shocked that they're not that big a deal. But yeah, I wish people understood why we have secrets.
Mine's very similar to that. And you're right. Secrecy builds a trust, and to be honest, none of our secrets are secret.
No, that's absolutely true. That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
There are things that we don't make public. They are on the internet. A lot of our ritual type stuff,
Right.
The symbolism, that's all pretty much public knowledge. But the interactions that we have between each other and the trust and the secrecy that I can tell Brother Jim something and I say, I don't want guy X over here to find out about this because I think it might hurt him in some way. And no, it'll never get repeated, and I know that.
Well, you get a sense of relief and trust as soon as you walk into any Masonic building with your brothers, because you know that, I've a couple times we're at the shrine and with my wife, with Glenda, my wife, and she's got a purse and she, afraid about setting a purse down. Says, I'll lay my wallet there on the table and walk away for however long, and it'll be there when I return because it's my brother's, and
I could leave my wallet on top of a stack of hundreds that's visible,
right,
and would not worry about it.
Well, and honestly, the reason the secrets are so important is again that trust. I had a thought about this the other day. If I were to lean into you and say, "Hey, I got something to tell you, but you can't tell anybody," instantly your mind goes, "Oh, this is good."
right.
But I don't. That's a good way to judge if you're a good character. If I tell you that and I later hear it from somebody else, then I know that you can't be trusted.
Right.
But anybody at this table, and when I walk into lodge, I trust those people because I know that they're good character.
Yep.
Well, and then we've taken the vow of helping each other out, to look after each other, and that's who we are. So
That ties into the story I'm going to tell
Okay.
when we're done with this section.
okay,
What I would want everybody to know is, and there's a lot of things, right? I could go on for hours about this, but we're not afraid to cult. And this probably ruffles some feathers, but the military and the church is way more of a cult than we are. If you look at the definition of a cult,
okay,
right? Yes, we have rituals, but they're non-religious rituals.
right,
We do have some religion in them. No, we don't. We have some faith,
right.
right?
A belief.
Yeah, we have a belief.
You have to have a belief.
Like on our altar, there's a Holy Bible.
Now, how many cults can you be a part of where we don't have to have the same belief?
Right.
We have to have a belief in a supreme being, but we don't have to have a belief in the same supreme being. I can't think of any cult where we don't have to share our beliefs.
Yeah, if somebody petitions lodge and they're Buddhist, then we can have their, I don't even know what that is. Whatever. If they're Buddhist, Muslim, whatever religion they are, we can get that religious book on the altar. I mean,
Right. The Quran is on top of the altar at the shrine. So
Yeah.
what do you want everybody to know?
I'd like everybody to know just the amount of brotherhood and whatnot that is everywhere. Like I could go across the world and knock on the door of a lodge and I'll be welcomed like they've known me forever.
right,
That's everywhere.
Which we have done down in Kansas. If you ever get the chance to go see the lodge in Atchison, Kansas, 100% go do it.
Really?
It is phenomenal. It's one of the most gorgeous lodge rooms I've ever seen in my life. Dave's been to Washington D.C. though.
Yeah,
He said that one was pretty cool.
that's cool.
The only one I've been to outside of the state was we went to, before I'd even become an EA, we went down to Belton where Harry Truman had helped form a lodge. So, yeah, that was a neat experience too. And it was exactly like you said, knock on a door. We were in there. They welcomed us in. They showed us around. It's great.
Have you guys heard the story about, I think it was in Indiana, I heard the guys on that other Masonic podcast talk about it a little bit, where Harry Truman, when he was sitting president, went to a lodge meeting.
Oh,
And,
yep.
and the Secret Service
Secret Service couldn't come
they
in.
started coming in. And he's like, no, you're waiting outside. They're like, no, we need to make sure you're safe. He said, I'm safer in there with them than I am with you. I mean, it's a great story.
Right, right.
100% positive it happened
Sure.
exactly that way,
Yep.
you know? So here's the story I want to go on a rabbit hole with. I'm pretty sure neither one of these guys listen, even though they're very good friends of ours. Which I'm not going to name any names. They're personal friends, Masonic friends-ish. One is, one isn't. One's going to be whatever. So we have a friend he's petitioned a lodge, and he's in between jobs. Okay, and he's former military, and he's proud, but pride is getting in the way of asking for help. To the point where, so he is, and if you are watching this, dude, I'm not doing this in any way to dig at you or embarrass you. This is just trust me. Hear the story till the end. Now I lost where I was.
He's
So,
proud.
yeah, he's not asking for help, and it's to the point where he's eating a very small portion of food every other day. Like, he feels like he was kind of a shitbag for the first 30, 35 years of his life, and now he has to make up for it, right? And you try to tell you, dude, I get it, I understand that, because I felt the same way, but you got to understand that you are who you are today because you were that guy before, right? So, our friend that is a Mason came to me, and he says, he just explained the situation. This is what's going on. He said, I just want to let you know that he had to make a trip for some family emergency. He didn't have money for gas. That's all he asked for, was just money for gas. And then this guy started asking more questions, like, where are you sleeping? So we'll just sleep in the car. Okay, so what are you eating? Well, I got, caffeine and nicotine, I'll be fine. So at any rate, this brother gave him $1,200. Okay, Venmoed it. As soon as it hit the bank, I think that must be where his car loan is through, because the bank took the money, left him with $32. But he got to keep his car for another month. So, and this brother said, I'm not telling you this because I'm looking for a handout. He said, I just want to let you know what's going on. And he said, I'm gonna go against what a couple of people are telling me, and I'm gonna give him another $400 or $500 so that he can make this trip and do what he needs to do. So my wife and I just looked at each other, and we just kind of gave the nod, right? So I came in the house, got in the safe, and grabbed a couple $100 bills and handed it to him. I said, you make sure you give him this cash so that nobody else can get it. And so then the guy made the trip, made it back safe, and I told he says, oh shit, I just said his name, damn it. Anyways,
We'll edit it.
yeah, we'll edit that out. But he says, you want me to tell him where this came from? I said, absolutely not. You found it outside of a gas station. I don't care. I don't care what you tell him, really. If you want to tell him I gave it to him, that's fine. But so at any rate, the guy made it back, and my dad had sent us one of those big, huge coolers of Omaha steaks. Okay. And immediately, my wife and I, again, this is getting scary because we're on the same page. Like, number one, we don't have freezer space for all of it. And number two, we can't eat all that. Like, that's a ridiculous amount of food. So I had this guy over for dinner. We made a big dinner, chicken Alfredo and garlic breadsticks and all that jazz. And so we filled his belly, made a big tub of it to go home with him, and sent him home with about a third of that meat because he really needed it, right? And I was like, this is not for you to eat one little piece every other day. You eat. And if you run out of food, you let me know. I said, you are done. It's like, you have petitioned the lodge. You are done with this, dealing with it by yourself.
Yeah.
You have to ask your brothers for help, even though they're not technically brothers yet. I said, you're entering into a fraternity where your brothers are going to get narrow-minded if you try to handle this shit on your own.
Right. Well, then, our brother approached me a couple weeks ago, whatever. Is it okay if I pay his initiation dues? So that's the plan of him doing that, so he can keep on going. So
Are we talking about the same?
we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is not to say that we don't just take in anybody that does that.
Right.
There's definitely rules on who we help, as far as people have to be willing to help themselves. And it sounds like this is an individual that is worthy of help, because they're just bad down on your luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's definitely another side to it, that you got to be willing to help yourself. And so I don't want the word we're getting out that that's what we do. But
You supposed to be in another meeting, Dave?
No.
Oh, it's not
that's
Dave?
mine. I thought I turned it off.
No, I forgot to turn mine off.
Let me get that.
Let's say if there's a phone ringing, it's usually Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's missing the clown meeting.
I know. Oh, that's not mine.
It is mine.
It is yours. Oh, I won't take the blame on that one then.
$20 in the tip jar.
Jeez, Dave.
Oh. Well, anyways, that was a good rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I almost made it through the whole damn thing without saying his name. That's okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch.
No, it's our master calling me.
Uh-oh. Should we call him back and tell him he's on the show?
Yeah.
All right. You're not doing that, are you?
No.
Okay.
I'm gonna put it on airplane mode now.
Oh, you're not just gonna silence him. You're not calling me. All right. Well, what's your favorite thing about being a Mason, Dave?
Oh boy. It's the brotherhood. It's having fun together, working together. I think it's the brotherhood's it's the most part, the biggest part of it. That's fun. You know.
Am I cheating if I do too?
No, absolutely not.
I think one of my favorite things about it, and again, being a new Mason, I just learning, but one of my favorite things about it is that it means something different to different people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If all you wanted to be was a Shriner, great. That's not what I want to do yet, but great. If all you want to do is the ritual work, great. That's you. You're not forcing anybody else to do that. If all you want to do is the social side of it and hang out, great. That's so the idea that it's individual and there's nothing wrong with doing your thing. I think that's one of my favorite. The other thing that I love about it is the idea that in today's society, where we have to fight about politics and religion, that's the one thing that we're specifically forbidden to talk about in open lodge,
Right.
is religion and politics. So
Yep.
we do everything we can to come together, and we have disagreements, don't get me wrong, but it's the one safe place in the world where we can talk about things. We try to agree, but we stay away from the two hottest topics
Yeah.
Right.
that are out there. So.
My favorite thing is the cheap drinks at the shrine. No,
It's difficult to go out to a bar and go, how much?
it really is. You go to a restaurant and get a rum and coke, you're like, what?
Yeah.
That's why I just don't look at the price. I just get it, and it just and deal with it at the end.
Oh my, that's scary.
It is.
I know Dave and I have spent several hours at the shrine, and we have like a $30 tab.
Right.
And the Scottish Rites is one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who was buying us drinks?
yeah. Sometimes it hurts at the end of the night at a regular bar, but
You know, actually though, our sitting master has had an $80 tab at the
Yes.
shrine. I think he bought shots for everybody in the building.
I think he did.
2 or 3 times. No, I think my favorite thing is, although I have a measurable assload of social anxiety, I enjoy meeting the new people. I really do. I've met great guys just from having the show. I mean, you were a fan of the show before we ever met,
Right.
And then we officially met at Scottish Rite,
Right.
when because we were in the class together.
Well, we unofficially met on Facebook,
Well, that's true. Yeah.
but you're correct. Yeah.
You know,
Well, and to piggyback off of that, outside of Masonry, I don't know that we would have ever connected because a lot of the things that you guys are interested in, it's not that I'm anti anything that you guys do. It's just that's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so outside of Masonry, I don't know if we would have ever spent any time together.
Yep. And here we are
No.
on an icy Friday night killing. What about you?
I think my favorite thing about the fraternity is how comfortable you can be in just about every situation in masonry. It's like everywhere I go, like if there's a crowd of people, because like I'm like you, social anxiety through the roof. Like if there's a crowd of people, I just shut down. Like you're still pretty good. Like you can still talk to people and whatnot.
I'm very aware, but like I can be talking to you, but my brain is watching this guy over here.
Yeah, but like you can still function. I can't. But like in a room of Masons, I'm cool. I'm calm and collected.
Well, and even beyond that, the most awkward situation for most people are public speaking. And I've seen both of you guys do ritual, so I know what it's like when you guys are doing ritual, but you're in a room full of people, and even though they know every word you're supposed to say, if you make a mistake, you can feel comfortable about it. If you're in a group of total strangers, you feel completely awkward. You make a mistake in that, we've all been there.
Like even if it's Masons I've never met before, I still feel calm and comfortable.
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
we have a past master of our lodge that would get super psyched out when anybody outside of our lodge would come in.
Yeah.
You know, oh, this guy's super important. Even the Grand Masters, they are guys.
Yeah.
We're all on the same
Right?
level.
They're the
We're
guy
all
who's,
level.
yeah. Like, did you not learn anything in your first 3 degrees? I mean,
And even when the Grandmaster is there, he'd almost prefer you not refer to him
right.
as most worshipful.
And most of the past masters are the same way.
Right.
I get corrected all the time when I use their formal title. It's like,
Yeah.
no,
No.
it's just Joe or yeah.
Well, yeah. So we interviewed John Maxwell, and in I don't know, one of our first 5 or 6 episodes, he wanted the title of just John. Like that's what the title of the show is. You know, it's you have to be humble to effectively lead people.
Yeah.
I was going to say something, I don't know what it was. Huh, imagine that.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Dave, so what does being a Mason mean to you?
Oh,
See, I like to put Dave on the spot first.
yeah. Holding myself to a higher standard. I've got a few of the emblems on the back of my pickup also. And I lost a bunch of them, and the one I haven't replaced is my Eagle Scout one. And so every once in a while I do something stupid in the vehicle and going, all right, the person behind me says, oh, that's how a Mason drives, or that's how that Eagle Scout drives, or that action. So, being more aware of what you're doing and how you're doing it and holding yourself to a higher standard, I think is the biggest part for me.
I think one of the things that came out in one of the very first meetings that I attended in the Masonic education had to do with how we're constantly making ourselves better. And to me, that is the one thing that I take to being a Mason to be incredibly important, is every day trying to be better than I was the day before. Mm-hmm. And I found it interesting in the last couple of weeks. There was an individual that had her husband had recently passed away, and talked to her, and she said, "I've got a list of things that I need done around the house." And I started thinking of obligations in the back of my mind. I was like, wow, that was timely how that happened. and I absolutely, so the day after Thanksgiving, I went over to her house without a question. I brought all the family with us, all the guys in the family, and we went over and did some projects. But just the idea that those kind of things pop in my head, and that I see different ways that I can be better, I think is an important part of being a Mason.
Oddly enough, one of my big things is remembering that I have a square and compass on my back window, and on my hitch cover I've got several things there. Which is also the reason I don't have them on the Corvette, because I tend to drive a lot more stupider. No, yeah, it's what?
That's the reason I don't have them on either of my cars.
But it's the whole. I try to live probably mostly by the compass, like circumscribing our passions, right, our desires. I have a very habitual type of personality, where like if I get into cars, then I'm 100% into cars, and then a couple of months later I might be into airplanes, so I'm all the way into that. So I try to just. To me, it's just rounding myself out better. And I could probably stand to be nicer once in a while. No. I'm really working on that. I went through a lot.
It's hard to knock that Marine out of you.
I struggled with a lot of depression and stuff, and I think we're finally getting things figured out after, I don't know, about 20 years. Yeah.
It's hard to, once you get that Marine in you, it's hard to get it out. So
It is.
I think mine's kind of along the same lines as you, but with that we're all on the level, but that I kind of apply that to people outside of Masonry too, is that nobody's better than somebody else, that we're all just people.
Yeah, and then that can backfire too.
Yeah.
Because you can expect something more out of a person that really doesn't care about morals.
Right.
Or integrity. That's one of the ways I describe Masonry is people say, well, what's it mean to be a Mason? Well, you have to be honest, you have to have good morals, you have to have integrity. Like you have to do what you say you're going to do, and you have to do it for the right reasons. You don't do it for a pat on the back or an attaboy.
Right.
You just do it.
Well, and that's part of the tagline, making good men better.
Yeah.
You have to actually be a good man to start to actually care.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with people with big egos, it's like, you're not better than,
Leave it at the door.
Yeah.
Oh, we better take a break. Look at that time. All right, we'll take a quick break again.
I'll call our master back, make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated when we come back. We'll hear from another sponsor, and we'll come back and see what Austin says.
Yeah.
Mini-me.
Had bad posture all day.
I called him a mini-me until he was like 12, and he...
Shut up, will clear past you, and yeah.
Oh, hey. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Woke you up.
All right. That was a great commercial.
You should produce more of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should change them up once in a while.
We should get some more sponsors and I can produce more.
Yeah. Although, oh wait, we'll get to that later. So we're on audio. I'll just cover it now. Through rss.com, we're on audio on almost every major podcast outlet.
Okay.
iHeartRadio, Amazon, so on, Pandora, so on and so forth. A bunch of what I would say B-list podcast hosting sites, and then Apple is coming. We have to either have Apple Music or Apple TV or some kind of subscription to be able to upload to Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
Yay, Apple. That's why we have Android phones in this family, because Apple's a pain in the ass. No offense. This half of the tables, there's something wrong with it.
We separated.
So do either one of you have Apple TV or iTunes?
I believe I've got iTunes, I think.
Got Apple Music, but I don't know if it's the same thing.
That's all I need. I just need your login. No,
Interesting.
we're actually kind of getting Apple TV anyways.
We got good shows.
Yeah.
For the show to watch.
That's exciting. Well, I know that I'd pointed out that I listened. I didn't even realize it was on Spotify because I listened to Apple Podcasts, and it automatically downloads, and I just go down a list. I've got a whole bunch of them that I go through. That was just my preferred one, and
Coming soon we will be.
that's exciting.
We're staying video on Spotify and YouTube, and then audio on everywhere else. So if you're listening to us on one thing and you want it on another thing, let us know, because it's really not that hard to make that happen.
Well, and I'd be curious the number of people that you got that are like myself, that I don't watch it. I listen to it in the car. So
That's what I do. I throw earbuds in.
you guys look great on the car radio.
Hell yeah. We do have faces for radio.
We do.
That's right.
No, I listen to my big ones at work are my favorite one is the Third Degree Masonic podcast
That's
out
a
of
good one.
Ohio.
It's a good one.
And then that other Masonic podcast out of Southern Indiana.
Traveling Man is one I listen to.
Traveling Man's a good one. Time for Fellowship with Matt and Andrew. They're out of Wisconsin. The Old Fashioned Masonic podcast is always good.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a bunch out there. I mean, and I think there's been some rumblings that we may be in on starting a Midwest Masonic podcasting association.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
That'd
That may
be
be kind of cool.
that'd be really valuable for all of you.
I know it was, and there's a lot of crossover and conversations between shows, and like I said, we've talked with Brian Bird out of Old Fashioned Masonic Podcast, and Brother Samuel from the Third Degree. I mean, we have each other on speed dial, and we talk pretty often. Bounce ideas off each other, and hey, how did you guys do this, and how did we do that? And it's good resources, as long as we're all spreading light. You know, some people said, "Oh, well, it's competition." There's no competition.
There's no competition. No.
We're all spreading light. I mean,
Yeah.
we're doing what we do. I mean, the more people we can get hearing about what we do, the better off everybody's going to be. So, who was your favorite guest from our first year, Dave? Season 1.
I'm going to have to go with Jeremy Martin.
Jeremy Martin?
Yeah. And maybe it wasn't just everything that we broadcast on that episode, but it was the experiences he's had and the job he has that we got information during the breaks.
Yeah. I think, if I remember right, that show went for about an hour and 20 minutes-ish.
Yeah.
And we started filming at 7, and we didn't leave till 1 or 2 in the morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about between military and private sector stories? Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah, that was definitely a good one.
Yeah.
What about you? You've listened to all the shows.
I have. So Eric Bensala was my favorite guest because starting out as a new Mason, one of the things that I enjoy, and I don't expect anybody else to enjoy, but I enjoy the ritual. I enjoy trying to challenge myself to learn it. Next year I will be senior deacon at Nebraska Lodge 1, and there are a lot of ritual parts to that office. So I'm just learning as fast as I can. Eric Bensala is a well-known ritualist. He's really good at delivering it. I've the best middle chamber that I've seen yet.
Hands down.
But it was almost a how-to. That episode was a how-to when you were talking to him about how the different ways that he memorizes it and he reviews it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was like step by step, and man, I wanted to take notes. If I wasn't driving down the highway, I would have been taking notes. That was my favorite guest you've had so far.
That's all right. You can go back and listen to it again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It helps our algorithm. Make sure you like, comment, and share.
Right. That's right.
Subscribe or something. I think mine was Celio.
Okay.
Was a deputy grand custodian, right?
Yeah.
Just to get to know him more as a man. Like he's been to our lodge, he's helped us out. He always does the charge. Now, have you met Celio?
Oh yeah, he was many times.
Such a great, genuine guy. But yeah, I mean, we talked about like where he was from, where his family's from, and because we were curious about the accent, like what part of the world is that accent from? So that was very interesting. And it's weird because he has a very thick accent, right? And which I love it. Like I wish I could talk with that accent. It's cool. He's like to him, he learned English, and to him, there's no accent.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But he speaks English so well that with that accent, I have to almost slow him down. Like, you said perfect English words, but I didn't understand what you said.
It's almost the old English with the accent. It almost gives you that old English.
Well, I think it's because we're not, like, I'm not used to hearing that accent.
Right.
Same thing with like people from England. You know, the accent is so thick, or Irish or Scottish.
Right.
Speaking the same language, but with the accent, it just doesn't register in my brain fast enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I feel strongly that's on us.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I have great respect for anyone that speaks multiple languages. And so anytime I have somebody repeat something I didn't understand that, I don't want them to feel self-conscious.
Right.
Because it's my problem that I don't understand you. Yeah, I wish that I could speak the language as you do. Don't feel bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you have an accent and people ask you to repeat it, don't get offended. Like that's like I genuinely I value what you have to say. It just didn't sink in fast enough.
Right.
All right. What about you?
For actual podcast episode guest, I think I'm have to go with the same as Dave for the on and off camera conversations that we've had.
Yeah.
For the person themselves, I'd have to say the Gabe Ruiz for all the support I had from photography stuff from him. So
Yeah. So our last guest, Gabriel Ruiz, he's very well known in the car scene, like extremely well known. Exotic cars. The Depreciating Assets Car Club is, I don't know if you guys have heard of 1320. I know you have from David, but 1320 Video started in Omaha. It was like a YouTube channel, right?
Okay.
It was street racing.
Okay.
Now, Kyle Loftus has grown that to
worldwide.
Oh yeah, I mean it's so big you almost can't even keep wraps on it. I mean, they're the ones that hold ice cream crews over the track.
Sure. Several
thousand cars, but Depreciating Assets, I don't know if they want to get that big, but they are well on their way. And we've been out to the track when they have roll racing events. They do drag racing, roll racing, road racing, car shows. They do a lot of car shows at 88 Tactical. But they
always have at least 100 cars at every event.
Yeah, they've really supported him when he was doing his car photography. And they're just great guys. A lot of them are out of Waterloo Lodge. I think Gill is too, right? I think he's amazing.
I think so.
Could be wrong. I don't know. But it was funny because we went out to that roll racing event and we got to talking to one of the guys, and I noticed him. He had a leather vest on. I noticed a Masonic pin on it. I said, "Oh, you're a Mason?" He's like, "Yeah." And he told me what lodge, and I told him what lodge we were in. He's like, "Oh, well, those guys over there in our lodge too." And he's like, "Those are the guys running this event." And so it was really cool. And then now again, we've had him on the show, and we have more friends.
Because we definitely need more friends.
Oh, you know I do. My problem is nobody wants to be my friend. Not more than once. All right, Dave. What direction do you see our show going in the next year, or what would you like to see? I mean, before you answer,
Yeah.
if you're watching or listening to this, we want to know what you want to hear.
Yes, please.
In the upcoming year as well. Who you want to have as a guest, what kind of topics you want us to talk about. I mean, we can keep coming up with this stuff, but I mean, obviously we want to give you what you want to hear.
Right. We've gone down the conspiracy theory a couple of times, I don't know if we'd have to learn some more, but the symbolisms, maybe digging into that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We've definitely have run across some brothers that we've got to know them through the podcast,
Yeah.
and I think that's a good way to go. We've all got our own story to tell, and if it's helps anybody out there that is teetering on the idea of becoming a Mason, then we've done what we were hoping to do, is to bring the light out there to others. So,
Good answer.
Well, as a fan, I'll speak on where I like to see it going. I think you guys are doing great. I think one of
Making me blush.
the thing that brought me in specifically was that you were interviewing people that are in the local Masonic scene that maybe I've seen a picture of them in their nice garb and the stuffy picture. That doesn't mean anything to me, but I got to meet them as people through your podcast. Now, some of them I've since met and actually do know them, but I think one of the great things is, and you guys too, getting to see just a piece of who you are and getting to know you. I think that's great. I wouldn't mind seeing you expand that out to guests nationally that are well known in the Masonic community, or should be well known in the Masonic community, just because I would like to get to meet them. Even though if I'm not meeting them in person, I get to get to understand a little bit about them through the podcast.
Yeah, that's kind of what we tried to do with past Imperial Potentate Jeff Souter.
right.
We had issues with that episode with the audio is kind of garbly.
Right.
Yeah, can't be the way we want it every time. So the direction I want to see it go is I want to keep learning, right? Because I've been a Mason 9 years, and I don't feel like I've learned about a quarter of what I should by now. I mean,
I'm probably an eighth, and I've been, like I said, 25 years, and
yeah. I mean,
There's so much to it, though. There's so many sides to it.
yeah, there's just so much more I want to learn, and that's why I appreciate having everybody on the show. Is I learn something every time, but I do. One thing Heath and I have talked about is like we're kind of the screw ups, Like I'm the guy that forgets my lines when we open a master for a master's degree. Like who does that? But I do.
we haven't done it in 12 months because we had so many new EAs. We were already opening in the EA. So.
I mean, and it's not an excuse. I should have looked it over a few times. I totally forgot that Senior Warden has different lines for master. It is what it is. So I apologize for screwing up my lines. But we are the regular Masons show, right? I mean, we're mechanics. You're a milkman. You have a cushy job. We're not going to go there. No, but we're like if you could equate podcast to the the job market, we're the guys that get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
We're the show that gets their hands dirty.
Yeah.
And I like that because I always have dirty hands. But, to me, it seems, for us, it seems more real. Right? Because and I'm that way at work, too. I have people I work with, but there's usually one or two people, like Gabe, who is now an intern apprentice, where you just, you kind of seek out that bond. You get the feel of, that's a good dude. And then you just, Gabe and I were best friends, and then Heath stole him, and I'm a bit salty about it, to be honest with you. You guys are within 3 years of age of each other.
Right.
And I'm 20 years away from his age, but he was my friend first, damn it. But no, yeah.
Put some cheese with that wine.
You got any?
Wine or cheese?
Yeah, so I kind of want to stay true to where we're at, and keep it real.
Keep it real. Yeah.
Because it's genuine, right? If we get on here and I stumble over my words, it's because I genuinely don't know what the hell I'm going to say. And we do have a bank of questions, but it's generally unscripted.
Yeah.
The responses are all unscripted. We have questions set, and that's it.
Majority of the time is walk in here. Okay, here's the questions for the night. All right.
Well, yeah. So I prepare the questions. Sometimes he gives some input. Most of the time he looks at it and says, "Yeah, that's good, Dad." That's exactly how it works. And so we release an episode on Monday. So it's Friday night. We record it. We release on Monday, and then that Monday night I come home, and I will, especially if I know the person we're going to interview, I'll just get on and I'll type up a bunch of questions, and I'll say, "Oh, that one sucks. That one sucks," and I'll narrow it down. Which is weird because, I want to change my favorite. I have two favorites. I don't want to change it. I just want to add one. Micah. Micah was a great guest.
Yeah.
So Mike, I've known Micah for a long time.
Right.
I didn't know anything about Micah. Right? I didn't even know he was a 33rd degree. So I got on the Google machine, and I started Googling Micah. And I found all this fascinating shit about Micah. So that's where a lot of the questions came from. And of course, we were friends on Facebook, so I knew he rides a bike 150 miles every day.
Right.
He's a psychotic guy.
What did he know about his map collection?
Yeah, that map collection is sick. He's going to come to our lodge and do a map presentation.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anyways, yeah, that was a long way to say keep doing what we're doing. What do you want to see?
I have to remind myself what the question was.
My bad.
I'd like to see us travel for the show next year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
My wife actually brought that up. She's like, why don't you guys go to I don't know, Des Moines or Minneapolis or something, and
England.
whoa. We could go visit Ireland, to the motherland. Aye.
It's well worth it.
Shit, it's me Lucky Charms.
We might be able to stop at Skanky's.
Wow.
Ooh, shaky.
Wow.
That would be dangerous.
Wow.
If we go to the Shanky's Whip Factory, I will not return home. I'm not coming home.
That better be the last day of the trip.
Right.
I will live there. There was a movie that came out when I was a kid about somebody jumped in a vat of beer and they died in the vat of beer.
Oh.
I would fall into the distillery and just.
I'm in
It's my
heaven.
happy place because I am.
He
black, smooth, and
he
Irish.
went the way he wanted to go.
I think you can see it kind of on camera. Oh, no.
I can't see it. There's a flag over there,
Black, smooth, and Irish.
just like me. Black, smooth, and Irish.
I'm sorry.
Next question.
Excuse me.
Next
Excuse me.
Yeah, I like that idea, Heath. I think that would be fun. We did the car show there in Bellevue with those guys, and that was basically a little more challenging, but it was fun. Yeah, if we get out to other lodges and do something, that'd be kind of cool.
The trouble is, it'd probably just be you and me,
Most likely.
and we're not that smart.
Yeah. And like, it doesn't have to be like we go somewhere to like to an event or anything. Just like with the guy we had out in North Platte, John Steele.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Instead of doing a Zoom call or whatever, we'll just go out there and interview him down in North Platte. For go out on the Saturday morning, interview him, and come back on Saturday evening.
So we are going to at Grand Lodge. Our show schedule is a little screwed up around February because of Grand Lodge, but we're going to film some quick hitters at Grand Lodge.
Right.
But we're also going to find a quiet corner or maybe in the hotel room or something, and we're interviewing James Ferguson.
Okay.
And he is, I don't have his card. He works at
The curator for the George Washington Monument.
the memorial
Memorial.
in Virginia. So we're going to interview him. Obviously, there's been a lot of emails going back and forth what we can talk about and what we can't talk about.
Okay.
Because he works for the foundation and they have pretty strict rules about media.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we'll have to make sure we abide by all the rules there. But
Okay.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. I've been in that area 3 times and have not got over there to see that. And I wanted to go to the anniversary and be a part of that parade, and it just timing didn't work out. That would be so cool to be part of that, so.
If I had the vacation time and the liquid funds, I would love to go with Jeremy Martin out to every year through the Legion of Honor. They do a visitation to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. Is it around Veterans Day?
Yeah, I believe it is, yeah.
Like that would be an amazing thing. So you can,
I've been there for Memorial Day. That actually is an interesting topic. I would be curious to hear out of you guys. If you had to pick a place that you wanted to travel, a Masonic location to visit. See, one of the problems I've got is, as a new Mason, I've traveled a lot in my life. I've gone to some pretty neat places. Mm-hmm. But now I'm going down the list of saying, oh, I missed that. When I was in Washington, D.C., I missed this, this, and this. When I was in London, I missed this, this, and this. When I was in Israel, I missed this, this, and this. So I'd just be curious what places you would like to go travel.
Probably the Grand Lodge of England.
which we can visit now. Mm-hmm. You cannot go into a tiled lodge in England unless you are part of the Scottish Rite or York Rite.
I did not know that.
You
Did
have
not
to
know
be
that.
a 32nd degree Mason.
Okay.
Is York Rite 32nd degree also?
No,
Remember, you
I
have to
don't
belong
believe
to
so.
one of the other bodies.
Okay.
Or I think just one of those 2 rites.
Okay.
You have to be in to go to a tiled meeting. I don't 100% know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure I know that.
Okay.
I heard it somewhere. Heard it on the internet. It's got to be true.
That could be true then.
It's got to be true.
Was it on the Adrenochrome website?
No. It was on another podcast. Masonic Light. Have you ever listened to that one?
I don't think I've heard that one.
They're out of Philadelphia. Great guys. They definitely do things different up there,
Yeah.
but they're very natural and smooth the way their show is produced. It's the show that got me talking in his ear like we could do this, and then we're total garbage and we kind of like it. Like I say, we're rough around the edges.
Another one I need to check out.
It's LATE.
Okay.
Masonic Light. Should we take a quick break and then we can do an open discussion?
Sure.
I don't know who we'll hear from or see from or whatever, but we'll figure it out. Okay.
Cool.
Break time. Recess. No, you text. No, don't text that. And we're back.
You got stereo.
I had to get it first.
I'm gonna regret saying this, but I had it coming from both ends. All right, what are we gonna talk about?
Well, not that.
Oh boy, it is fun. No, really, what we're we gonna talk about?
Let's go down the traveling road a little bit.
Okay.
You're really encouraged to do the traveling, to get out there and meet the other brothers that are either on the other side of town or on the other side of the state or on the other side of the world. Because there's some cool people out there that are Masons, and then just to get the flavor of the different styles of lodges and the architecture and the adornments of the rooms, it's
And the jurisdiction, because when you go out of your jurisdiction, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
They do this a little bit different, and they've got this line a little bit different.
well, I haven't seen it yet, and I've heard the Iowa degrees are so much different. Well, let's 20 miles away, we're on the Iowa jurisdiction, and
Well, even in the same city. So I got the privilege of visiting Rough Ashlar #1, Prince Hall.
right.
That's a different flavor.
Yes.
And it was amazing, and the building was amazing, and I enjoyed everything about my visit there.
Mm-hmm.
So just the little nuances that are different in different jurisdictions.
And we have, so my wife is really going to appreciate that. I do get more vacation time this year,
Okay.
and now we're going to spend it traveling. So I'm like,
You need to work on making it work for other things.
Yeah.
honey, I got a long weekend. We're taking Friday off, but we're going to drive to Minneapolis and go visit a Masonic lodge and film a podcast.
And the Mall of America.
And Mall of
You
America.
throw that together.
Oh,
Throw
I
it
haven't
together.
been there since I was like 8.
Yeah. We've been
I had
there
a
twice.
mohawk.
You did. Remember the Avatar cartoon? So there was like a mascot, or a guy dressed up as Avatar, and he had a mohawk that was down like an arrow. He wanted the arrow like the Avatar. And this guy in the costume, it might have been a guy, might have been a girl, who knows? But he comes over, and of course they don't talk. And all he does is he points at his head with the hair arrow, and then he points at his own head with the blue arrow on it. And I think we got a picture or something, but it was like, you gotta be kidding me. It was one of those times where like, I don't even know this kid, just walk away. I grabbed my wife's hand, come on, we're going this way.
And I was probably like,
Oh, airbender. Yeah, you probably were.
because I was a weird kid.
Yeah, the only air that bends out of you is out of your...
Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And so for the last 5 years, we've been doing a big family vacation.
Yeah.
And so this year we're going to California. And I'm purposely going to hopefully, because we're going to probably hit 3 different cities. We're going to probably start in San Francisco and work north. But I'm trying to seek out lodges and on our travels this year more.
Okay.
Since there's going to be at least 2 Masons in the car at least, so maybe 3 even. So, last year when we went through South Dakota, or 2 years ago, we stopped at Mitchell, South Dakota at the Corn Palace.
Yeah.
Well, they had the Shrine Circus was part of the design on one side of the Corn Palace. It just
Never
happened to
been
be
there.
yeah. So and the design changes every year, but there happened to be the Shrine Circus stuff on one side.
Oddly enough, it's worth seeing. It is really cool.
It
It's
is
not made out of corn, is it?
Oh,
The whole side of it is, yeah.
the whole outside is decorated.
Every year they do a different design, and its artwork is huge side of the building, and it's made from corn.
corn
But
husks.
it's like a facade. It's not made from corn.
Oh, it's made from corn husks.
The facade is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
yes.
it's like a brick building or whatever.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Yes, the facade is.
Yes.
I mean, I know corn cobs are a fairly good insulator, but they're also a pretty good fire hazard.
Right. So yeah, I think the traveling part would be
The only downside to trying to see lodges is trying to line up the meetings with your trip.
right.
And I'm curious about other jurisdictions, but around here, most, let's say 80% of the lodges meet the first week of the month.
Yes.
So unless you're traveling that first week of the month, that's what I've run into. We were in California for a football game. I actually made it to a couple football games, and it just didn't work out because it wasn't the first week.
Week of the month, yeah.
So for us traveling for the show, we don't care about the meeting.
All right.
Right.
I mean, we'll have to get a hold of a lodge secretary for, whatever city we pick, or hopefully, as our fan base grows exponentially, wink, wink, people can contact us. Whether it's, ideally we could go there, but I know we recently have acquired fans in Japan and Australia. Not visiting them. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not staying on an airplane for 23 hours. Sorry.
I will.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Actually,
Because Japan is my 100% bucket list
well, see,
vacation.
we could fly to Hawaii and film a show there, and then fly from
Yeah,
there.
see, I think you need to expand it. How many jurisdictions does Nebraska actually recognize? The Bahamas, think of all the places you could travel as long as they're recognized.
Well, as for a podcast, we're not in a Tower Lodge situation. But then, like we were talking, you get into a clandestine lodge type situation.
Well,
We're not affiliated with any Grand
Yeah.
Lodge.
That's
Or-
exactly.
That's correct. I was thinking more about
What-
our obligations was all I was thinking.
Yeah. What I was going to say was maybe an off-camera thing.
Oh, all right, moving on. I'm still trying to get you in trouble.
As always.
Yeah, I 100% would not mind, making a 3-day trip somewhere.
Right.
I'd probably just take Mondays off because you're off on Mondays anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Travel on Saturday, film on Sunday, and recover on Monday.
Travel back and recover on Monday.
Yeah, we almost have to go on a Friday because if we're going to film, then I'm sure we're going to, wherever we visit, the brothers are going to want to show it up a little bit.
Right.
Well, that's one of the nice things about it. I was told that, and I haven't got to take an opportunity. But you go visit a lodge, and they tell you everything about the place, the city. They tell you the best places to eat, the best places to stay, the places to stay away from. I mean, you've got friends in any location you want to go.
I think we're going to have to do it.
I think so.
How much vacation do you have, Jim?
Well, again, we got to talk to my wife. 5 weeks.
5 weeks?
I got 5 weeks. That's what happens when you work for
That's
a
about
company
what I
for
got.
a long
You work for the Air
time.
Force?
No.
Oh, wait.
No.
He works for a very nondescript local railroad.
Transportation company
Yeah.
Transportation company.
in Omaha.
That doesn't narrow it down. does it?
No.
My granddad was an engineer for the BN guys. He drove the trains. What did Sean actually do?
So Sean, well, you might want to ask him about it later, but he was a dispatcher with me for years. That's how we got to know each other. He actually, you'll have to ask him about his work with steam locomotives, and he had an excursion train down in Arkansas. So I don't want to spoil any of those stories, but ask him about a certain governor from that state and his election to a very, very high office, an interaction there. But yeah, he did a lot of that, and now he's working with he's working with a lot of the regulatory stuff that has to be involved with our industry. So
Yeah. In the transportation.
in the transportation industry, in a non-specific company in Omaha.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So Dave you might have some more free time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I get, so it's 3, 4, I think I got 6 weeks coming this year, so, yeah.
Well, you've only been there since, you just...
30 years, yeah. 30 years in March.
And then longer, a lot longer than I've been alive.
So you guys, what were you saying the other day? You guys just went union?
They just voted in the Teamsters Thursday.
So I asked Dave, I said, what are you going to do now? He says, less. That's fair.
Yeah, so I was a union rep for our union for the drivers, and so that'll go away. And
When I started my career, I was in a union, and I'm still a member of that union, but my current position isn't union.
union.
So I've been on both sides of it.
Yep.
So yeah, I've been with my company for 27 years, and that's how you get that much vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we could also go to Des Moines and do zombie burger.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Great zombie burger.
No, that's a new one for me.
Oh man! If you could think of any kind of crazy shit to put on a hamburger, they're gonna do it.
If you're looking for breakfast, well, I don't know if we're supposed to be giving commercials, but if you're looking for breakfast, the Machine Shed in Des Moines.
Okay.
Yeah. They've got a few locations of that. Machine Shed is amazing.
Wait, I'm not gonna be fat anymore. I can't eat like that.
All right.
So zombie burger. My favorite one in zombie burger is called the trailer trash. I should pull it up because I'm gonna screw it up.
We'll pull it up after the show.
But it's like it's a really good quality hamburgers in the first place. This one has deep fried pickles, deep fried bacon, deep fried cheese curds, ranch dressing, and 2 different kinds of cheese.
I think it has onion strings on it too.
Oh yeah,
That sounds amazing and painful at the same time.
like you get about 4 bites in and you start sweating.
Feel your arteries clogging.
Yeah. The blood gets a little thick. Yeah, it's fine. And they have boozy milkshakes. Like you can get a wedding cake milkshake with rum in it.
That's so good.
So that maybe that's a challenge. You do if you're going to start to travel, you need to see make a list of how many different green bean recipes you can come up with from all these different places. I didn't say you had to eat them. I just said you needed to get the recipe.
That is one thing we have never had at a lodge dinner.
I tried to avoid it. I really tried to avoid the green beans.
That's it. Next time I'm cooking, we're having green bean casserole. I should do something fun with them. Just come up with some kind of new way to make a green bean. I'll find a recipe for something and I'll substitute green beans for it. That'll be total garbage.
And can we pay an extra $1 or $2 so we don't have to have the green beans?
Yes, we are open for donation.
I will be eating at home that night.
Let's we say we wrap this sucker up. I feel like we're talking about nothing now.
As opposed to the rest of the show.
Right. Let's see. We covered that. Basically, want to say to all of our fans, our hosts that aren't here, our friends, our brothers, Masons everywhere, everybody genuinely have a very merry, safe Christmas
Absolutely.
through the holidays. Should go without saying, if you're going to drink on New Year's Eve or in general, get a ride.
Yep. Please do. Yeah.
So you can come back and listen and help our algorithm. No, really. Not.
Come back and learn something, hopefully. And have a laugh with us.
One thing we do want to hear is some feedback.
Please.
Right.
Yeah.
If you heard something you liked or heard something you didn't like, let us know. Send us an email, studio357podcast@gmail.com. Leave a comment on one of the shows. Find us on Facebook. Drop us a message.
And if you haven't done already, make sure you like and share because that really helps get the word out to other people. If you do truly listen and you want other people involved, it really helps these guys get the light out around the world.
And we are, I don't know if we've teased this on previous episodes or not, but with Gabe, we interviewed him right after we voted him in.
Correct.
So before he was initiated. Then we interviewed him again after he was initiated. So then we're going to interview him Well, maybe not. Maybe after he gets his fellowcraft degree. After we
Have to go through the
after we
degree.
pass him to fellowcraft, we'll interview him again, and then we're gonna interview him again after he.
It might be worth both before and after each of those. Maybe even combo them up into one.
And the thought process is like people always ask you, well, what was it like to become a Mason?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what I was thinking at that time, right? So we'll interview him at those key times, and then we're going to group them all together, make one episode out of it,
That's cool.
and then hopefully when we release it, we're going to have the right keywords where people can search. And so people that are out there that aren't a Mason yet, this video will pop up,
Nice.
and then hopefully it'll pique their interest and they'll petition a lodge near them. That's the hope.
Yeah.
Well, and one thing to keep in mind is if you have any interest at all, most lodges, find your local lodge, get a hold of them. Most lodges have some sort of a get-together before the meeting, a meal or something else. You're more than welcome to show up, and there is absolutely no idea that you're going to go on beyond that. You need to get to know those guys, and they need to get to know you. So just show up, ask questions. I can guarantee you that most of the lodges I've been to, there's been no pressure at all. That's not what we do. We just reach out and visit and see what you can find out if you've got any curiosity at all. Obviously, you can ask these guys any questions, but if you want to get to know it more, there's nothing better than showing up at a lodge, talking to those guys, and seeing what's what.
Yeah, there is nothing that a Mason wants to talk about more than what it means to be a Mason.
Right.
If you have questions, you knocked on the right door, you know.
And be ready for honest answers, because there's a lot of misconceptions on what it is and what it isn't, and that's one thing as Masons, we will tell you straight up what it is and what it isn't. The secrets that we talk about only have to do with modes of recognition and what we do once we're in there to learn the different modes of recognition and the valuable lessons that we've got. None of it is a secret, and that, you know, as you said, it's online, but we're very open about what we do. There's when we say secrets, that's all the secrets there are. We're not going to give you a line about the way it is and the way it isn't and be incorrect. So yeah, make sure you talk to your local lodge. Get your foot in the door.
Yep, and probably the best way is to get a hold of the Grand Lodge of your state.
Yep.
Or get a hold of us. We will help you find the Grand Lodge of your state.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or is it, what's the website? beamason.org?
I think so.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
I may be wrong about that. It is Be a Mason, though, so that's a great place to start.
I have a Google sitting in front of me.
See what it is.
Yeah, especially on like I said, when there's so many, most of the lodges doing a dinner ahead of time for the biggest part. Most of them do. There's usually not a shortage of food.
Right. Yeah.
It was not beamason.org.
I took a guess.
Beafreemason.org.
Yeah, Freemason.
Is that it? Is that legit?
That is it.
Yep, that's it.
That's it.
I think it looks like Tony Hawk.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Fairly certain it's not Tony Hawk. It looks
No,
like it.
it's not Tony Hawk.
Yeah, let's not start that conspiracy. We should probably fact check that before we go down that road.
Speaking of celebrities, so whoever knows Brad Paisley
Right.
and Shaquille O'Neal and AJ Allmendinger, who else? The wrestler. He's a mayor somewhere, Wisconsin.
Mayor of the old past governor.
Yeah, he was Kane.
You're talking about Kane, yeah. I
Yeah.
can't think of what his real name is.
I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyways, yeah. When you see this, because those guys are watching this show, get a hold of us. Like, I would travel to Wisconsin to interview him.
Yeah.
Glenn. His name is Glenn.
You got Google.
I do have Google. See, That's the reason you're here, Jim.
Well, let's not limit it to those specific celebrities. I'm pretty sure there's
There's a couple others
a
out
few
there.
celebrities that would make great guests.
There's two that I would love to have met and talked to. One would have been Red Skelton, and the other one is John Wayne.
John Wayne,
I
yeah.
think both of those would have been just superb guys to meet and talk with.
Glenn Jacobs. That's it.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I thought that's what I heard. All right, who invited this guy?
Right.
Oh, wait, that was me.
I'll see my way out.
He's 7 foot tall.
Yeah, he's ginormous. Wow. But I've seen some. I'm not a big wrestling fan, but they had a show where wrestlers were trying to obtain some of their memorabilia
Okay.
to go to the Hall of Fame, and they had an episode with him. It's like a super down to earth guy. And they all are.
Yeah.
He just seemed very genuine, and then I found out later he's a Mason. I was like,
There were a few others. Harley Race was a Mason. If
Who's
you didn't know that. Well, okay, I don't want to offend any of the pro wrestling fans. So he was a great known, well-known wrestler. He's passed on since.
That's a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
who was it?
Harley Race.
Not a clue.
70s?
When I was, I'm going to date myself. So in the late '80s, when I was watching, he was just finishing up his career. So
Okay.
he was still in the mid to late '80s. He was still wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I was a fan when I was a kid, back in the Ultimate Warrior days.
Mm-hmm.
Back when wrestling was real.
Yeah.
It is entertainment, that's for sure.
And they got the Omaha Mad Dog Vachon, and and
Wasn't Ted DiBiase from Omaha too?
The family. Okay, here we go. The family was from the area. He actually is from down in Florida, but he was hailed out of Omaha, Nebraska.
Of course he was.
But the family back in the day when everything was regional, there was actually a circuit in Omaha.
Yep.
There was a circuit in Omaha, and the DiBiase family was big into that.
The computer just made a weird noise.
The coworker sent me a reel.
Oh boy. That's scary. We're not going to watch that.
I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't put
I
that.
wouldn't either.
Okay, anyways, guys, here's to a great first season. I look forward to more to come. Jim, you really saved the hell out of this episode. You should come back anytime.
I would love to. You guys, what you're doing is great. Congratulations on a year. That is a big milestone. It may not seem like it, but I can guarantee you there's a lot of people that have tried doing this that didn't even make it a year. And what you guys are doing is valuable, and it's a lot of fun. So keep up the good work.
Well, even if nobody's watching, we're pretty dumb, so we're just going to keep going. We just don't know any better. And then, see, I put on there, tune in for our next episode. We celebrated our 1-year anniversary. But that's actually not, because this is episode 26.
Yeah. Well, we'll still have one more episode in our season 1, but
Yeah, we're gonna film with Sean Reed December 27th.
Okay.
Well, then you need to be celebrating the feast of St. John the Baptist.
Can we?
And again, I probably should probably make sure it was St. John the Baptist and not the evangelist. I'm a new Mason, so you'll have to forgive me. I'm still learning my facts.
So you're saying we have to have a feast on the table here?
Actually, you need to talk to Sean because Sean's a good cook and he does most of the meals for our lodge this year. So
I'm a pretty good cook too.
there you go. You guys can compete. No green beans though.
Competing feasts. Whoever has the worst smelling green beans is the winner.
oh, I can do that.
Where was it? I think it was a Boy Scout thing. Somebody made green beans. No, it was at the shrine.
Jimmy Hurl's
Oh my God.
the amount of vinegar that was in it.
I think that he mixed up the water and the vinegar ratio.
Yeah.
You couldn't eat the damn thing. They were horrible.
I'll bet they were great.
No, Jim, they suck. And I'm fairly certain he watches the show. They suck. Everything.
But he can redeem himself with those carrots, though.
Oh, those candied carrots that he
Yes. Oh.
second to none.
I know it.
Nice save.
I try to duplicate that. I
I
can
can't.
get close, but I can't make.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the brandy that he puts in there.
I'm not sure it's the brandy he puts in there or the brandy he puts in himself. I'm not sure which one it
Well,
is.
it's probably a little bit of both. I mean,
One for you, one for me, one for you.
Jimmy makes everything with some kind of liquor
Yeah.
and some love.
Yeah, yeah.
Except those green beans. Don't ever do that again. All right. I think on that note, let's holy cow, it's after 9 o'clock already. That was a very fast 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, hope you enjoyed our year-end season finale episode. Did I stumble over that too much?
A little bit, but nothing major.
Probably.
They're used to it.
Yeah, they're probably not. All right, well, tune in next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go.
Well,
Maybe you,
you got more bat channels now.
we do have more bat channels.
So
I don't know what all they are though. There's a bunch of them.
Just continue to use the same bat channel. You never go wrong.
Well, you're going to start using Apple when we're on Apple.
And I'm still using it. I was using it before.
Oh,
It's just you're on there now.
look at this guy. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were on Spotify. I wish you were on Apple. What?
It was a great suggestion.
It was. It was a very good suggestion. That's what got us to get on all these other channels.
Mm-hmm.
It's your fault.
It's
It costs us money too.
oh,
Thanks a lot, Jim.
I know. I know.
All right, guys. We appreciate you watching. Please remember, like, share, subscribe. Same with our Facebook posts.
Yeah.
We love the feedback. I mean, I work at a golf course and it's wintertime. So I don't have to work. I mean, like, I service the equipment, I check it out, and, you know,
He's working like me.
yeah, I'm working like I'm in the Air Force. And I get, are we out of time? Is the camera shut off?
No.
Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, I've got time to read some comments and respond and whatever. There's a master of a lodge in town that we were texting back and forth for like an hour one day. He's like, I really do have a job. I'm just off today. It's like, well, I have a job and I'm at it right now. But anyways, thanks for watching. We hope you keep watching or listening, and tell your friends and your neighbors and your friends' neighbors and your neighbors' friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Peace out. We'll see you one more time in December.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
New Year's Eve we'll release the last one of this year, right?
Should.
Okay. All right. There you have it. From the producer's mouth himself. Okay. Bye, Felicia.
Since you didn't say it, I'll say it. Travel well.
Travel well, my brothers.
brothers.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Almost Happy New Year. We'll say that next time. No, Happy New Year now, because, well, yeah, you get it.
Bye.